5 categories, 5 iPhones. These are the top 5 you can buy in 2024. Coming up, let's go. So if you're looking to decide which is the best iPhone for you in 2024, in this episode, I'm going to help you decide that. We're going to do multiple categories here in this video. We're going to start with the best budget, and then we're going to go all the way up to the best overall. So starting with the best budget line, I'm going to have to say, and this is not necessarily a budget for everyone, but I'm saying probably the lowest price you can get right now on some of the best iPhone. That's going to be the iPhone 13 mini, or if you want to go up just a little bit in price, the iPhone 13. Now, I'm going to show the mini today as the representing the 13 line because we've been showing the 13 lately. The 13 mini also feels quite special nowadays just because, it kind of just has a unique feel that you don't really feel in, any other phone today. So, if you want to get a mini, by the way, you might as well go get one now before it no longer exists. But this and the 13 to me are the best lower price options. I don't really like the SE. It's just really out of date. It looks very archaic. And I know a lot of people like the classic design. There is hundreds, maybe millions people that really still like that design. When you look at the whole marketplace, it just looks really behind. So for me, I'm not going to go ahead and put that in the top for 2024. So for me, it can't go in the top 24 list. The next one is going to be the best standard value iPhone. Now, when I say standard value, I mean basically a standard iPhone that just works well. It'll work well for several years to come. That's going to be the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. Nothing overly exciting, but nothing horrible about this product line. This product right here is one of those that, you could just count on. It just works and it'll keep working well. It has really good software support, really good cameras, really good video quality. It just works. Nothing special, nothing over the top. And while this phone would have been special years ago, like when the iPhone 12 came out, it's not really anymore. It does have action mode though. So if you want to do that, you can do that in the video. That's pretty nice. It's cinematic. You can do some pretty good front-facing video work, and it has a lot to on offer, but it's a standard iPhone. So standard value, best option, iPhone 14 or 14 Plus. So the best premium value on the market today is 14 Pro Max, I would say. You can find this phone for several $100s less than the iPhone 15 Pro Max and get yourself nearly the same experience. Also, if you want to go the 14 Pro, that's also several $100s less than the 15 Pro secondhand or, refurb or different like marketplaces sell these things a lot cheaper now. $700 or so. You're getting this phone for around $800, around the price of an iPhone 14 Plus, or even like an iPhone 15 base models, 15 Plus base models. So if you want the Pro experience, you can get it for around the same price if you know where to look. So this has to go in my list for the best you can buy in 2024. Of course, it's not going to be sold officially at Apple stores, but if you can find it, which you definitely easily can, this phone is one steal of a deal right now. The 14 Pro Max and the 14 Pro if you really want a smaller option. Now, the best bang for the buck option this year is the 13 Pro line. And when I say bang for the buck, I mean like you can get these phones at like $500-600 and you're still getting a pro level experience. Triple camera on board. It still has AR support, not AR support. You can do really good video on here. Everything works about it. There's no issues with the battery, except it's not as good as when it first came out. But if you have a good capacity on your battery, it's going to be really good there. Also, this phone still performs quite well. You've seen in my recent speed test on 17.4.1, this one has done very strong in the performance area. Also, it still has a very premium feel and touch to it overall. Stainless steel, matte textured rear back. It's like the 14 Pro Max, same weight. It's a little bit hefty, but you can find these phones at prices that are kind of rivaling mid-range budget phones now. When they feel, and these feel 10 times better than those phones in the hand. So for 2024, if you're looking for an iPhone that just really gives you a lot of bang for your money. If you're just not trying to buy it outright, you're not trying to do a subsidy or make monthly payments on it, you can find these for half off of like a 15 Pro Max. So I feel like this phone has been one of the best of all time. The iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. The 14 Pro and Pro Max kind of carried out the similar phone, but didn't really have the same pizzazz because it was just kind of like already there with the 13 Pro Max. I almost feel like Apple could have just skipped the 14 Pro Max if they wanted to, because the real change came to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and then the 15 Pro Max with the dynamic islands, kind of similar to the 14 Pro Max. And obviously you can't make a best iPhones video for 2024 without talking about the 15 Pro Max being the best overall. Of course, it's the latest, obvious. But the reason why it's the best overall is mostly for the A17 Pro chip. This chip in here is capable of console level gaming. In addition, it's going to push this phone forward with the AI updates with iOS 18. And of course, this and the upcoming 16 are going to be the best models to have if you want to stay on the cusp, on the bleeding edge of technology, obviously. So that's really why it gets in the list of the best overall. I think, when we talk about the titanium option, that best is going to be more subjective because some people will find stainless steel the best for them or aluminum the best for them, and the materials that might matter more to you. But this also has the brightest screen. It has some of the longest battery since the 13 Pro Max, and it has the thinnest bezels. So if you like thinner bezels, you'll definitely want to spring up for this phone. But the funny thing is about all of these devices is that they kind of all generally right now have the same experience. So it doesn't really matter which phone you're using out of these. They all kind of give that same iOS experience with the widgets, the app library. Dynamic Island is one of those things that is kind of underutilized in my experience. And to me, it wasn't a massive improvement over the notch in terms of aesthetics. So, it's something that is nice to have, but you don't really need. So it's something that's a nice to have, but it's not something you absolutely have to have, I feel like. And so, yeah, that's how I feel about the best 5 categories, the best iPhone options you can get in 2024. Personally, if it was up to me, I would say the best deal to me is somewhere between the 13 Pro and the 14 Pro series. One of those two is the best overall deal for the money right now. And if you really want to save, some of the 14s and the 13s are still decent options. They're pretty average phones now compared to the competition, but they're still decent options. But if you get a 13 Pro, Pro Max, or 14 Pro, Pro Max, you're going to make out pretty well. 120 hertz displays, Pro Motions, triple cameras, very bright displays, very similar to the 15 Pro Max. Still have several years of support left, especially on the 14 Pro series. And should be able to get these AI features, maybe not everything the 16 Pro and Pro Max as well as Ultra maybe, and the 15 Pro series is going to get, but still quite a bit. So that's the best iPhones to get as of April 2024. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you have any suggestions? Did I miss any that you're like, where is this phone? Why is this one on the list? Or do you have other phones that you think are even better than every iPhone? Let's hear about it down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.